Milf Manor, episode 2, where Western civilization goes to die.
I'm just open to the adventure.
We are 7 seconds in and I never saw that coming, which is a surprise, because everybody else has. Where was that in Lord of the Rings? Off Frodo, we gotta go to Mordor, but first, we've got to enter this gaping chasm. I don't know, it seems safe enough, looks like it's a well-traveled path.
I'm open to having a connection with a younger man.
I mean, obviously, I'm open to dating supermodels. The question is, what do they get out of it?
I love older women that can keep up with me.
You may have just priced yourself out the market, mate, unless you're using a Zimmer frame.
I have a very young, free spirit.
Well, at least it's nice that you're holding on to something. But this is episode 2 of Milf Manor. If you've not seen the first one, I'd go and watch that first, because otherwise a lot of these comments aren't going to make sense. When I say you should go watch that, that is to keep up with the plot. Although if you've grown up in Norfolk, a lot of this will be second nature to you.
Here we go, here we go.
What's going on?
Wait, there are moms?
I guess that's the short version for anyone that can't be bothered.
Men want that. This isn't a game show.
This is exactly like a game show. A sick, horrific, twisted game show. This is like Saw, but instead of losing a limb, you lose part of your soul forever. If it turns out that one of the moms is a showrunner, I'm leaving. Imagine if you created an entire show just so you could bang other people's sons and make them watch. Like, I'm getting paid for this. So this guy starts describing how much attention his mom gets. He's like, yeah, people really love silicon. And this guy's seen things he should never see because he is far too comfortable talking about his mom's silicon.
Girls are always popping out, you know.
It didn't bother you when you were a baby sucking on them either.
We just proved my theory. These are not normal conversations, people.
Because I needed the milk, Mom. I needed some energy.
You can't come back with a logical response after someone made a comment that made you make this face. What has modernity reduced me to? Actually, I take it back. Maybe they do have a golem after all. But Jose starts talking to her.
I feel like Jose's interested in me.
To be fair, you're a woman with a heartbeat in his nearby vicinity. The first two are probably negotiable, and the third one, he's already traveled to Mexico. I don't think that matters. If you're not near him, don't worry, he'll move.
I'm taking your son out on a date. I haven't told him yet.
Don't you think you should tell him before you start telling people you are? Actually, what am I thinking? It's not as if he's going to say no. We're on Milf Manor, now is not the time to start having standards. We should have invited Indiana Jones. He was an expert at raiding ancient wombs. Tombs, sorry, it was Tombs. I completely misinterpreted those movies.
I don't like to say what I'm gonna say,
Don't worry, love, I'll say it for you. Hell, I probably said it in episode 1 already.
but I really feel that Kelly is like easy.
Why are you telling that to the audience as if that's a surprise? What are you gonna do next? Get in the bath and shout Eureka? I've worked it out! She's a whore. Hang on, I know for Jose, it's really important to have values. Values are often a product of your upbringing. And you're on the show as well! You can't come on a show where the point is degeneracy and then claim that you've raised him with values. She says I really don't think she's the right girl for Jose, and we get that face. And I'm like, love, I completely agree, but the clue that that was the case is when you're on Milf Manor.
We're kicking you out of your room, too.
You haven't even been out together yet. She's only asked him, where have you been? I'm kicking you out your room. I've seen more discerning people in an ice cream parlor. But the mom was like, nah, I don't see him together. He always dates really quiet girls and she's not quiet. That's probably because they were younger and so still cared about their reputation. We're now on television. That's gone out the window a long time ago.
I think she's really wild. I don't see Jose going far with her. Never.
That's either denial or ignorance. I can't work out which. So I think my son will turn it down if it's offered to him. And that's why he came on this show.
Maybe we can rock, paper, scissors over it.
More like a game of sausage, eggplant, and cucumber with this crew. So these two are discussing which of the men they think would know what to do. I mean, seriously, how complicated do you think this is? You can just lie on your back for 5 minutes. We're not inventing nuclear fusion. Besides, if for some reason they don't know where it fits, there's definitely someone on the island that will teach all of them if you wait long enough. But we find out it doesn't matter what television show you're on, we can still keep the delusions going.
But a man should ask a woman out. I feel like I have to test it down myself.
No, you can't. Why should we have to do that?
Probably for the same reason you're on this show in the first place. Firstly, we've just seen that not doing that is actually successful in the previous scene. Secondly, why should we do that? Why should they? Just think about the cost-benefit involved. I mean, if they wanted to go through the entire rigmarole, they could put that work in outside of the show, with literally anybody on Earth. All I'm saying is if we're going to be eating mutton, then shouldn't that come with some advantages?
I have this list. Nobody fits on my list. Nobody can keep up with me.
My life's been rough because I've got too many standards and no one can meet them.
You're still sitting there waiting, like nothing's ever come, so you don't know what you want.
Oh, dude, you were so close until you swerved away at the end there. It's not that she doesn't know, it's that she knows too much.
If you don't have that standard, how are you gonna have what you want?
But you don't have what you want. That's his entire point, love. I mean, you can hang hang around waiting for Leonardo DiCaprio as much as you want. That boat passed about 30 years ago. But they're discussing, my first instinct was Jose. She's, oh yeah, mine too. It's the accent. It makes them go weak at the, gets the old fanny packs a quivering. A name which is far more funny in the UK than it is in America. There was a guy in American leadership called Randy Baumgardner. Apparently doesn't mean much in America, but if you'd made him the diplomat to the United Kingdom, the fun we would have had. The memes would have gone on for years.
Love Jose. He's very intriguing.
It's his accent. Why don't you just say it's his accent? Oh no, he's so intriguing and mysterious. I really like his brain. I genuinely don't know whether you're deliberately lying to the camera or just have no idea why.
He definitely gives me the impression that he knows what to do with a woman.
What is it about him that gives you that impression? Is it the accent? I don't know, I just get this mysterious image, this mirage that just appears in my brain for no reason whatsoever.
That get the job done mentality.
You've got nothing to base this off. I like his accent. That's what most people would have said. Instead, we got everything except a graph of your humidity levels. But nothing is stranger than what we get in this next scene.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Oh my God, we had the same.
Yeah.
That's never happened between two guys in the history of the universe. Or after the same girl you go, man. What? I can't wait to get your sloppy seconds. But even the showrunners get nauseous after the first scene, and so we get a text. It's the wall of secrets. We write down our deepest, darkest thoughts on a piece of paper, and then hope that our relative can't guess them. If your secret isn't guessed by the person you came with, and no, I don't mean it like that, although the showrunners are hoping for it, then you get a reward. It does seem a bit flawed, though, that neither of them are supposed to guess the other one's secret to get the reward. That means if you know the secret, then you're not going to guess that one because that would prevent you getting the reward. You're actually rewarded for ignorance in this game. But let's face it, it's Milf Manor. If you want to give out the rewards, then the one thing you can rely on is ignorance. But she's panicking. Hang on, if they don't guess it, are they going to tell our secrets to them? Probably. Are you kidding me? Oh no! Don't you understand? I don't have skeletons in my closet. I've got mass graves. If I ever open that door, I'm causing the next zombie apocalypse. You never heard the saying, loose lips sink ships, and no lips are looser than mine. Wait, hang on. So they write down their deepest, darkest secrets.
We didn't know. We're gonna be revealing these to the entire house.
Who did you think you were revealing them to? This is a game show, and it was called The Wall of Secrets, not Multiple Walls of Secrets. When they read it out, I just imagined a wall with people sitting around it. This isn't complicated. Then again, if you're the product of a quickie in a public toilet, I'm not sure why I'm surprised. So he's come up with the smartest plan he's ever had in his life. I'm just gonna pick the wildest secret and assume it's yours. Because everybody on this island knows exactly what you like. We get some of the secrets that have been said. I banged in a mall elevator after watching a late night movie. I don't really think that was a good one to admit to. How many floors does this mall have? What are you going for? Like 14 seconds or something? Be weird if that was Jose's after all the time of he knows how to treat a person.
That actually sounds like it would be fun.
Yeah, for about 14 seconds until you hit the second floor. What are you going to do afterwards? Go back down again? This isn't a mall in a skyscraper with 117 floors. So one of them banged their son's best friend. Given this group, I'm surprised that's a unique situation. It's essentially the theme of the show.
This one is just horrendous.
I'm actually genuinely surprised that that's where you draw the line. Actually, no, she didn't say she wouldn't do it given the opportunity. What happens if her son makes a best friend on this island? We could put it to the test.
That's unacceptable.
I really hope we get to put that to the test. Someone admits I started dating a couple of people, but they were just hit and quit, never called them again. So one of the guy's deepest, darkest secret is that he had a couple of one-night stands. I mean, at least if this was coming from the mums, you could understand it, but from the guys, it's like, oh, okay, dude. What are you gonna do next? Tell us that you ate an entire bag of Haribo to yourself? This isn't shocking.
That better not be Gabriel because I did not raise my Gabriel like that.
You mean like you? You didn't raise him to be like you. Let's not pretend to be something we're not when we're on a show called Milf Manor. Why we're all trying to say yes, but I raised my child to have class. You can only do that if you've got it yourself. This is why it's such a weird dynamic, because the only people that could genuinely make those comments wouldn't appear on this show to begin with.
But I know which one would be Gabriel.
So she thinks that her son went with 7 different people at the same time. And I have to admit, I'm not good enough at Tetris to even consider how that would work.
Not proud of it, but that could be my kid.
I'd be proud of it. Like, yeah, get in there, my lad. Don't you understand it's only horrifying when you do it? So this is why the roles don't work in this scenario.
This might be the walk of shame here.
Now, that was when you entered the show. And I would have thought they would have realized it, given how much experience they've had at it in the past. No one came onto this show going, well, I had a husband for 35 years and we met in college. He's the only person I've ever been with. I'm now looking for love. I don't know why you'd be coming on this show for that, but at least it would have been a refreshing change.
What my type is, but no.
Yeah, I can do without the details.
I don't share that with him.
Why did you come on a game show which is entirely dedicated to it? I could do without the details of how my food is made, so that's why I decided to go to an abattoir. If you don't want to watch Harry raid the Chamber of Secrets, then why are you going to the cinema in the first place? So one of them banged a girl on a yacht. I mean, if she goes on a yacht, is anyone really surprised? There are some things that are just renowned for it. A yacht, a private jet. If you're on this show, 2 Bacardi Breezes. It's not a surprise, it's just maths. One of the guys had 2 at the same time at his mum's house. I don't know why that's even up there. That's basically the theme of this entire show.
Anyway, with 2 girls at my mom's house, he better not have. I hope that would not be him.
I tell you, he better not be doing anything near where I am. That's why I came on this island, solely dedicated to it with him. But the one she chooses is the Hits and Quit It one because it's the most vanilla. I don't know. So then we get Charlene, who, remember in the first episode, said she's only on this show so she can bang someone for her dead daughter. I'm not joking, that's what she said. It was to honor her daughter. I'm not sure if after that there's really a dark secret you can put on the board, but we're going to give it a shot.
I trained it on a grandma and she liked it.
I mean, when was that? Yesterday? Why do you keep writing down dark secrets, which is the theme of the show?
I got pink eye from ass.
How did I end up in this situation? You know the worst thing about this? Not only did the TV show think we can't write that on the screen, but the bit they decided to cover up is the word eating. Yeah, because eating is the problem with this statement. The word you decided to censor says more about the showrunners than it does the audience at large.
I got pink eye from ass.
Wait, you beeped it in the audio as well. Eating is not the repulsive word in this scenario. There's nothing wrong with eating. It's what you're eating that's the problem. Also, thinking about it, censoring that word doesn't even change the message. Even if you read it as it is, still means exactly the same thing.
What?
That was a very half-hearted what, wasn't it? That was more like, I know the response I should have, but quite frankly, I'm not surprised. I've done it myself. We've all been there. How have you not learned how to avoid that by now?
I got pink eye. I don't think my mom would do that.
Are you sure you're on the right show? Is there a rule against going with the other sons? I'm not even sure.
You could catch a lot of freaking pink eye salmonella.
Salmonella? What do you think they're eating? It's not a chicken carcass they're talking about, love. Oh yeah, I was stuffing the Sunday roast and I thought, oh, that really wants it. Started winking at me as I was removing the giblets. No, stop it.
That's definitely not my son.
If you got pink eye from ass,
Oh my.
I think she'd just be disappointed. Like, she's disappointed that you didn't know how to do it properly. I can't believe you did it and you were so unskilled. Seriously, you embarrassed me at the hospital and you know how often I need to go. One of them got with their son's teacher. Again, is that a deep, dark secret? It doesn't really feel like it. I just hope he got an A. Again, we come back to the hit it and quit it.
I never called them again. That's what's it.
Everyone is choosing that for their son because it's the least offensive. They're like, yep, that's typical male behavior. Nothing wrong with that. That's my son. Even when the show is desperately trying to push some kind of boundary, everyone on the show just defaults to, yep, okay, that one's fine. Everyone knows it's a false equivalence and yet no one's supposed to say it. So this guy sees one, they banged on a beach, he's like, yep, that's my mum. Main thing about it is how enthusiastic he is as he realizes, so yes, she certainly does that all the time. I was in a restaurant and got with a stranger in the bathroom.
That's giving Kelly vibes.
You just read that like, yeah, that's Kelly, she's a whore. She'd be eating and then decides she needs to be eaten. Oh, it's just the stench of the room. It does it for me. Oh, sometimes you say things and disgust yourself. So this guy reads about going in a lift.
I think that might be my mom.
I think the clue that you shouldn't be on a TV show is when you need to say that sentence. You know, so she went up in a lift. Yeah, that's definitely my mum. I know what she's like. Come on, dude.
She's kind of kinky like that.
Why do you keep making it worse? Why do you know? These are not details you should have access to in your life. One of them says, I kissed a dude who I knew at New Year's Eve. And that's when he told me I was bi. You had to be told that by him? Did you not realize yourself? I mean, if you didn't know, what did you think you were doing? Oh, so I just slipped and sort of fell on his face. I mean, can you imagine this scenario from his perspective? He's like telling you, you're like, no, I'm not. He's like, what did you think this was? This isn't how everybody says goodbye, you know?
And that's when he told me he was bisexual.
Oh, okay, it said he was, so technically it could still be true. It's not how I read it the first time. I did think that was a guy's message. No, that still doesn't make sense. Why would that be a dark secret for your mum? Oh yeah, so I went with this guy and then he told me something about him isn't a secret for your mum. I mean, you're the one with nail varnish. I thought it was you. So this guy sees the message about the Tetris Championship and is extremely jealous.
Are you kidding me?
And let's face it, aren't we all?
Could that be my mom?
Questions you should never be forced to ask. I like how he's not assuming that about any of the others. He just saw that. It probably is. Let's be honest. This is going to be embarrassing. Everyone else assumed that was one of the guys and he's like, no, it could be my mum actually. So we pick a few more and we find out more about her than we ever wanted to know.
I make the most out of my elevator experience.
streets.
Yeah, but don't you think that's taking it a little bit far, love?
We jump, it's the whole thing.
Don't go for a jump in the elevator with your kids. At least leave them at a creche or something. So the rest of them choose.
Which one's my mother?
I don't know if he means the messages or the people. Let's face it, if there was a light on upstairs, it ran out of power a long time ago. But then they gather round to find out the disgusting truth about them all.
Everyone needs to fess up. Oh my God.
Bearing in mind she was the one at the start who's like, do we have to tell everybody at the end? She seemed very surprised that we had to tell everybody at the end. I don't know, love, maybe you could have planned for this. Chosen something that wouldn't make the entire group ashamed to be sitting next to you.
I think a lot of people will use these secrets as a moment to judge character.
Dude, I've been judging you since this show started. Were we not supposed to be judging you until now? I saw the title screen and thought, this is filth. So we start with Gabriel's secret. She thinks he got with 7 women. Have you seen him? Even by his face, I think it's obvious that that's not true. This isn't you trying to guess his dark secret. This is you desperately hoping that you've raised him right. Oh, my lad's got as much game as I do. This kid couldn't put 7 blocks together in Tetris, let alone 7 women.
They're always all over you.
Who? Where? There's been no evidence of that in this show. So he guessed that she got with his teacher, and, I think that face says it all. It's kind of surprise mixed with, I wish I'd done that.
No, you're wrong. Who would you think that I would...
That's her problem. No, of course I wouldn't do that. That would put you in a terrible situation at school. It was, no, which teacher do you even think you had that I would have been interested in? I've got standards. I would never get someone on a teacher's wage.
That wasn't hers.
I win.
I'm not sure winning's the right word. On this show, everybody loses. But I think in that case, we just want to know, what was your secret?
Went with my boyfriend to our friend's house and I woke up with his best friend.
That's even more layers than was written down on the card. I went to this place with my boyfriend. You volunteered this hell dimension voluntarily.
That's not that bad.
That's pretty bad. I mean, what are we rating this against? What else do you know? So he comes out with his secret, and this makes even less sense if I'm remembering the past correctly.
It's like I've never kissed a guy before.
Yeah, that's his.
I think that's how he kind of realized maybe he likes everyone.
That's how he realized? You are the one with nail varnish on. And didn't I make a comment before when someone read that out? I'm like, well, you've got nail varnish on. I'm surprised it's not you. I've got to go back and check now. Oh no, it was just a different guy who also has nail varnish on. Right stereotype, wrong person.
I'm gonna be honest though, you gotta take your hat off to that. If you can be enlightening enough.
What? Oh, we gotta rewind that.
Enlightening enough.
Enlightened enough. Okay. That's like a whole second level of enlightened. But he thinks it's amazing that he's led this other guy down the path of discovery without discovering anything about himself, apparently. So his mum picks I got with someone on a beach. He has a remarkable reaction.
Yeah.
I'm more curious about with who. I think that would mean the most shocking revelation to the showrunners, not to anyone watching it. So of course she hears this and there's a beach right there. That's enticing. She's not concerned about standards or the person. It's more just vicinity. Wait, you like a beach? Well, there's a beach there. I'm open. She would be the easiest person to finish your bucket list with. She'd do anything. At the end of the day, I've got a list and she's got a... And he thinks that his mum went with his teacher. Everyone's surprised when this stuff's read out, even though they saw it on a wall and know that somebody did. And it was true. She did.
He got it.
They won.
Don't high five over that, you peasantry. Yeah, I got you that A in mathematics.
We got it.
I think you had everything. The clinic's got you on a bingo card trying for a full house. So the woman who's here solely for a daughter guesses that her son grinded on a grandma and liked it, which means he's perfectly suited for this show. If that's true, this guy's gonna be in heaven. He's just made a lot of happy ladies.
Back when I was a dancer, a male entertainer.
I would say male entertainer is a really vague job title. These were grannies. How difficult were they to entertain in the first place? So everybody in the entire place lights up in the fact that, hey up, not only does he know how to dance, but he likes his milk past its sell-by date. We're in, folks.
My interest, that's all I gotta say. I need a date with Harrison.
Isn't it weird how that works? No, everybody's the same. No, for me, it would definitely be the reverse. I've got to get with him because everybody's seen him like that. I'm not going to get with her. Everybody's seen her like that. I don't know if the showrunners realize their show's backfiring. They're not really proving what they think they are.
So we know it's in him. It's like, who's just gonna pull it out of him?
I don't think it's difficult to get it out of him. I mean, if it was difficult, it'd be rare. If it was rare, it'd be expensive, and he would have let a fortune slip through his fingers. So in reverse, he guesses that she kissed a guy, and then he came out and said, I like everybody. Why would that be her deepest, darkest secrets? It doesn't even say anything about her. That entire thing only even means something if a bloke says it. So obviously, he was wrong.
Dealt with a 23-year-old, and I might not have remembered his name.
That one was so boring, they didn't even show it us on the board. They're just like, oh yeah, they're 23 and he didn't remember their name. That's the foundation of our show. Why is that a deep, dark secret? It's being broadcast internationally. I can't remember any of your names.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you were a dancer, right?
The word is male entertainer.
Don't you try and play the high and mighty with us over definitions, love. One is a specific term, the other is just vague terminology you desperately try and hide behind out of shame. So she guesses for her son. She thinks he got with someone in a lift after watching a movie, presumably because she knows he can only last 12 seconds. And I think we can tell from his face, she got it wrong.
Joey ain't that cool.
You think that's cool? Why is no one asking how many floors the elevator had? I feel like we're focusing on the wrong point here.
I hit it and quit it within first couple days, multiple girls.
I mean, are we sure they just didn't leave you? I mean, it's understandable. They took you into the mall or something, and you got lost because you couldn't read the exit sign. You spend the next years wandering around trying to decipher the English language. Everyone's acting as if this is shocking news. I can only assume it's because nobody thinks he'd pull it off. And in return for his mum, if he had any sense, he'd just choose whatever there was most horrific thing on the page. And he chose that she banged someone on the beach.
No.
She's really pleased he got it wrong, and I'm like, yeah, because that's not even the worst one, was it? What were you doing, dude? Hers was that she was in a Michelin star restaurant and got with someone in the bathroom. And I mean, at least in a 5-star restaurant, the bathrooms are going to be relatively nice, I guess. Or at least they were until she got there.
Restaurant in London with a stranger.
That's okay. It wasn't somewhere in like Orange County.
No, it was London. That's worse. The only saving grace here was that it was a Michelin star restaurant, not the geography. Then we get these two talking about the secrets. Like, I was amazed that it wasn't more degenerate. They use the word exciting, but we all know what they mean. Repulsive would have been what I would have chosen myself. And she guesses for Ryan. Oh, I think he got with a couple of girls and never contacted them again. Because I want to play it safe, and I think he has standards.
Never called them again.
Yeah.
Nope.
But I love how disgusted he is that you would dare choose something as boring as that for me, don't you know? Because he was the one that got with 7 women at the same time. He is the Tetris mastermind.
For a night for my birthday.
It was a present, now it all makes sense. So now you know, if you've got 7 girls who ask what you want for your birthday, save yourself some money, it's you.
I knew he was like a man whore, but not on that level.
I mean, once you've crossed the line, does it really matter? It's like jumping off a cliff. Once you've gone over, there's no going back. It's not like any point on the way down is progressively worse than the rest of it. Whereas she was the one that got with somebody in the elevator.
Went to the movies. Free your dad. Free your dad.
Did you really need to tell him twice that this was not your dad, it was before him? Don't worry, son, this isn't how you were created. No, that one went on the floor. I'm not sure any of this is an improvement. So then So Young has a crack at guessing her son's secret, which makes a change from showing it to everyone else. And she guesses he got pink eye. How do you know your son that well, and why? Because the only reason I can come up with is you've had to take him to the hospital a lot. All guessed it. Everybody knows that that was him. Has he spoken to you about the acrylic toe paint? Because if he has, then okay, I completely understand it.
It's a normal thing.
If it was a normal thing, people wouldn't be having this reaction. If it was a normal thing, you wouldn't have written it on a wall as your deepest, darkest secret. So, you know, I wrote down on a wall that I ate a steak yesterday. It's my deepest, darkest secret. It's a normal thing. Yes, which is why I wouldn't write it.
What?
That's the only reaction that makes sense to that statement.
Not the pink eye part.
I tell you what, acrylic is clearly not for human consumption because we see the after effects.
That just happens. Down, up, and down, back and forth.
We didn't need a diagram example of it, you filthy little... Do you think you're going to win people over with this explanation? Oh yeah, so obviously when you're doing it, you like get your eye and shove it in there. I think she's only laughing because it's happened to her. But of course, she went out with him in the first episode, and this has entirely changed her opinion of him. As well it should. Like, as he was describing it to me, I just had this vision of him doing it, and yeah,
But I'm glad he didn't kiss me in our date.
Yeah, that is a good point. After this, it'll say a lot about anyone that gets with him, because they all know where he's been. And he guesses the whole I kissed my male friend, and that's when he came out to me thing as well. I think they're just choosing that because it's a safe bet that doesn't really mean anything or shine badly on them in any way, shape, or form. It also 100% means that you're wrong, which is the entire point of the game. It doesn't make sense for any of the mothers to even say that. Like, why would anyone care?
We don't even know our mom.
You guys don't know your mom.
Isn't that an advantage? Oh yeah, you don't know what your mums have been up to. Yes. Good. I think it's creepier if you want to. So he's like, come on then, Mum, tell me your deepest, darkest secret that will definitely repulse the earth. And I'm like, well, at this point, you're asking for it. Literally.
Okay, my secret is I slept with your best friend.
As you can see by his face, he's not very impressed by that news, but he did ask for it repeatedly. So at this point, you can't really get upset by it. He does get upset by it. Crowd's reaction probably didn't help. And everyone starts going, oh, you got burnt there, laddie. We might as well have just sat there, laughed and gone, you've been humiliated on international television. How do you feel? So this guy immediately starts going through the 5 stages of grief.
There's no way. There's no way. No no!
Starting with denial.
I did not expect this at all, 0%.
Skipping forwards to depression.
And I thought I knew my mom really well. I don't know what to think about it.
Definitely depression.
Look, I don't need an explanation.
Bargaining.
I'm a little traumatized right now, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, that's acceptance that it's happened. If we hit anger, we've got the full lot.
We thought Ryan was a savage. Yeah.
It looks like he doesn't have the spine for anger. But then it comes out, and she's the one that says it for some reason, that his friends have been with him since elementary school. So his mum has watched them grow up and then thought, you ready now? Seriously, did she have it noted down in her calendar or something? I knew she was calling herself so young, but I didn't know she meant her type. Then again, look at what show she's on. We should have gathered.
Why would you put that down?
Okay, we've hit anger. We nailed all of them. She does at least briefly have the human decency to feel slightly ashamed of herself.
So young, likes them so young.
Okay, that was my joke. I didn't know she made it later in the episode. And yes, I know it was obvious and low-hanging fruit, but that's the best kind of fruit. I'm not going to leave that alone. So we get the winners, the second set, and the third pair, which for some reason they didn't put the sun on the screen. They did for the others, but apparently she's the only one worthy of note in this. And it turns out because they won as duos, the guys get to pick whoever they want to go out with, which she doesn't seem exactly happy about. They definitely thought they got to choose as well. Although, let's be honest, it's probably good of the showrunners because anytime they take someone out, we all know what's going to happen. At least with the guys, it's a bit of a, maybe.
By way of us winning and how we won, I'm horrified.
How were you not horrified when you came on this show originally? It's always interesting to see where people draw the line, and this is where she drew the line. Oh, I don't mind coming onto a show where the showrunners clearly want me to get with my son, but writing something on a board? Oh, that's too far. So then we get to this guy talking about what's just happened, and he is fully in stage 4. He is utterly miserable and shocked that she would do something like that to him.
My mom, she really dropped one on me that.
To be fair, she didn't just drop one on you, she dropped one on all of your friends.
You know, it's just like, I don't even want to know something like that.
No, the problem is with the action. It's not about whether you know it or not. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. Like, well, you could have done it, but I shouldn't have known.
She should have took that to her grave or something.
Why don't you just say she shouldn't have done it? No, you can do whatever you want. Just never tell anyone on the face of the earth. We're finding out a lot about your upbringing right now, aren't we, dude?
I don't know how I feel. I hope nobody really talks about it.
You're on the telly, mate. People are going to talk about it. You're going to be walking down the streets. People are going to recognize you and yell it out. I do like, though, he's talking about, I don't know how to feel. He's not talking about how he thinks or what judgments he should have on it. No, nobody should judge anybody else. That's how you ended up in this situation.
I don't want to know who I was with or even hear about it anymore, honestly.
Whoever it was is definitely going to tell you. I'm surprised he kept his mouth closed this long, because he didn't with her. So Jimmy decides to go for a swim, and there are his clothes. This woman goes up to him just randomly and realizes, I mean, now's your chance to honor your daughter if you want, love. Never heard it called that before, but here we are. So she realizes what's going on. She's now realized. Is she going to turn around, walk away?
Oh my God.
No, she gets closer.
I think Jimmy's having a hard time.
You could see that as well. I thought he was just swimming. I didn't know it was that serious.
He wasn't ready for his mom's secret.
I don't know why it had that effect on him then.
I feel like Harrison would be acting the same way.
What, having a hard time in the pool? It's a strange reaction for your son, but you know him best. Then his mum comes down to the pool. He's still in the buff. Don't walk up to the pool. So she's walking up to the pool. This woman realizes she's approaching, and she just walks up to the pool. He doesn't try and hide. He doesn't go up to the wall so it's not obvious. No, he just stays where he is and walks up to her with a towel. You have a very strange relationship. This isn't normal, just so we're all aware. Even the other one's like, I am off. This is weird. What on earth is going on here? She was more than willing to stay when he's on his own, but when his mom is that comfortable around it, there's something strange going on. This may explain the acrylic. So he's talking to her, and he's kind of verging on tears, and he even, like, backs out, swimming backwards, like doing the breast crawl in front of her. I thought the first half of the show was bad, but this just tops it all. I've never seen anything like this. This is weird. Especially when he finishes it by talking to the cameraman going, some people just can't handle the realness. I just keep it too real. I'm like, please, could you just cover up the realness for a bit? Because I don't want to see that either, no matter how hard of a time you're having.
I didn't expect this at all, really.
I don't know, you seem pretty comfortable with it, to be honest. Far too comfortable than you should have been. And you were the one that announced it on the board. You were fine with it before.
I feel guilty.
You should feel guilty. I don't know why you didn't feel guilty when you were writing it down and thinking, yeah, I probably shouldn't have put that, actually. Actually, no, I probably shouldn't have done that at the time. I don't know why, as it was going on, you were like, no, actually, I can't do this because there are basic levels of human decency in the world, and I might want to, just for once, stick with them. But if you want the ultimate in offense, well...
But I'm a human. I'm a woman, too.
Of course I did it! Can you not see what I am? What kind of behavior did you expect of me?
I mean, it happens, I guess.
No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't just happen. You decided to do it. Just the entire lack of accountability and responsibility is mind-blowing. She knows it's her fault. She knows she did wrong. That's why she feels guilty about it. And she's like, yeah, but you know, What do they expect? Not my fault. It's just the world. It happens. So she gets very upset about getting caught. Never doing the action. Oh, obviously, that just happens. No, it's definitely about getting caught. Next up, one mother realizes their son isn't who she thinks he is, which is weird because you raised him.
Either Paula is a helicopter mom or a jealous wife.
On this show, probably both.
I'm zero jealous. I'm really not jealous at all.
That is the face of a perfectly reasonable, happy human being. So it's the next day. These two go off with each other. She says, despite the fact that we didn't win the challenge, we still got to go off together. Because the showrunners realize that's the highest chance of something happening, which is the entire point of the show. Well, not the entire point. They do really hope that it happens with people it shouldn't. So she says, because I know you're from Mexico, I want to take you to one of the landmarks of Mexico. Which is weird. Wouldn't you be doing that if he wasn't from Mexico? I know you've never been to Mexico before. I want to show you around the sights. Not, you've been here all your life. Have you seen this landmark that you walk past every day? So they go off for a ride in the ocean on top of Oliver. Oliver, I'm assuming, is both the name of the boat and one of the men on board. So that'll be fun.
I'm not sure what kind of surprise she has for me.
I don't think she has any surprise for you. I think you know exactly what you're going to get. I mean, you can see most of it anyway. So he picks her up. He does seem to struggle slightly on his way to the boat. Silicon is surprisingly heavy. Maybe we could try like helium balloons in the future, you know, give people a bit of a bounce. Anti-gravity.
I want to take him to one of the biggest landmarks in Mexico.
If he's from Mexico, he's probably seen the biggest landmarks in Mexico.
Which is a mushroom rock.
Hold on, roll that back.
Which is a mushroom rock.
Okay, now you're just taking the piss. So I wanted to take Jose. Where you taking him? Well, I want to show him the mushroom, and then maybe he could show me his.
I've set up this date because I'm hoping that
I can see it's mushroom rock. Yeah, we get it, love. But she set all of this up. By that, she means ask the showrunners. Because hopefully, by all of this effort, he'll see that I'm really interested in him. Which is a pretty safe bet, because I think she's been interested in everybody so far. The only surprising thing is this guy held her interest for a second day.
I've seen that online. I wanted to come here.
I'm sorry, but is that one of the biggest landmarks in Mexico? I thought you meant the entire rock, not this thing. Dude, if you're obsessed by that shape, just play Morrowind. The trees are everywhere.
And I'm happy to share this with you.
I'm so happy to share this with you, yes. My accent just gets 10 times thicker when I'm around you. It's incredible, it really is. So he engages in a tried and tested tactic that men have used for thousands of years.
I want to talk about things that are amazing about you.
Indulging her narcissism. I just want to talk about you. Don't you understand? You're the center of the universe.
about me.
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about me, my favorite subject. Yeah, at this point, I'm convinced the only reason he wants to get with it is because she won't be able to talk with a mouthful. But like, oh yeah, you're amazing. No, you're amazing. No, you're the most amazing. Let's face it, this was far more effort than either of them needed. This was just for the cameras. My question is, what's happening to the two guys on the boat? Where did they go? Or are they going to have to be forced to watch? Poor Oliver, he thought he was quids in.
And I adore your mom. I would love for her to be my mother-in-law one day.
Look, I know people say things move faster the older you get, but at this point, we're going to be traveling back in time. Talk about the speed of light, you're already arranging mother-in-laws.
I don't get hit on a lot.
Well, I'm amazed. I can't understand why.
A lot of people tell me that I'm a very intimidating person.
You're a very intimidating person. Do they have to shout that at you because they can't get close? So those two get together on the boat, and she's like, he left me wanting more. How much more do you want? I feel like you already got everything. And indeed, we find out that they did. Just think of it. In season 2, we'll be able to write on the board, I grinded on 2 grannies, and they enjoyed it. So other people start winding up his mom.
Now your son disappeared.
I don't know if that's because she's concerned, she wants to make conversation with the mom, or because she senses her opportunity to find him herself.
I'm sure we're gonna do something about him right now.
Well, at least she's nailed the show format. Why are we all grouped together in one room when 2 people are suspiciously missing? I think I'm being set up.
She's gonna eat him up.
He's a
Mom
man
has
now.
a better standard.
I don't know, we'll get to judge her standards in this series, I'm sure. I have a feeling that better doesn't necessarily mean higher.
Jose, I want him to find a nice girl.
Have you ever considered setting a better standard yourself for him to live by? And we find out that the pair of them have been gone away for 5 hours, which is great stamina by anyone's definition. So they come back, her eyes grow about 4 times the size. They ask him, has there been any intimacy?
I don't even know what to say. My mom is there,
That's a yes.
but I don't know how to express myself.
I think you already expressed yourself largely over a face.
Blowing my mind.
Your mind wasn't the only thing either, was it? Yeah, it turns out his mum wanted to visit the Mushroom Rock as well. Turns out her standards are much better after all. Oh, I really wanted to see somebody's mushroom. Why didn't you take me? Have you considered telling the showrunners? They definitely would have let you. That would have been their dream, and it's only episode 2.
Well,
Take me. Next time you can take me.
yeah.
No, I'm not taking you. I mean, he would probably be open for it, I think.
Well, we had a great time. It was really, really amazing, yeah.
I tell you, have you ever played Hogwarts Legacy? It was like that when you get the broom. There are these massive circles that you got to fly through, but luckily they're so big you can fit everything in easily. Doesn't even touch the sides.
Hello. Nice day for a flight.
I play TIE Fighter.
Oops. I played TIE Fighter Simulator when I was back in the
Wish
days.
you could have.
Oh, I missed. Oh my gosh, Jay.
Seriously, it was incredible. I've never had so much room to move around.
It's fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
You can always tell someone's fine when they're just so busy telling you how fine they are about something. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, fine. No way you're mentioning it all the time, I'm fine.
Zero jealous. I'm really not jealous at all.
We all believe you, 100%. If you just repeat something, it comes across as doubly true. Definitely not that you're trying to convince yourself.
It was a boat for two?
It's not going to be a boat for one, is it? What did you think one of them was doing? Hanging on the back?
I thought you guys got a hotel room or something.
Yeah, there's no need to overcomplicate it. They didn't need a hotel room. Just stick them on top of the rock. They would have been fine. Tourist boats going round, they're not going to care.
Pretty sure Jose is not on this retreat to date his mama.
The only thing the showrunners heard there is, so there's a chance. She's just pretty sure. That leaves an opening we can work with. So after a day of rampant degeneracy, one of them got their end away, and that means the showrunners reward them with a party.
We finally get to see the house let loose.
Don't you think half the house is loose enough? You don't need to see him let loose, you need a room for Kegel exercises. Okay, I was happy when everything was a little less loose. I don't know what's going on here, but judging by the expression on his face, he wants to leave. I mean, that's a first, isn't it? Dance with me. Okay, how about I turn you upside down? What are you gonna do? Shake her? See if her purse falls out of pocket or something? Look at it! What is this meant to be? I have seen some weird things in this show, but the fact that goes by without comment kind of blows my mind. So is there much to say about Milf Manor? This is the show where people can get with other people in 5 hours and then fall out just a few hours later, where the moms get jealous because their sons are getting more action than they are. But at least we know it reflects reality, with fake victims ahoy, and the never-ending hope from the showrunners that something will happen on screen that will disgust its audience more than anything else which has currently happened. They're definitely going to want to build up to a crescendo, and I really don't want to find out where that is. So we'll find out where that is next time on Milf Manor episode 3. But for now, that's it from me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe, more videos like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.